talk about the advantages and disadvantages of both buying and renting. We've been talking a lot this month about buying versus renting, and a lot of times people circle right in on the numbers. I do it too, because the numbers don't lie, and I really like them, right? And I like home ownership. It's not a secret. I believe in it both short-term and long-term. But to be fair, it's not for everybody. Some people are better off renting. So what are those advantages and disadvantages for both, outside of, say, the numbers? So let's start out with home ownership, because it's my video and I like that better, so I can do that, right? Because we're gonna start out with the advantages. So the advantage of home ownership is, number one, building equity, right? Building wealth, the opportunity, not only the equity in your home, but owning a home is not only a forced savings plan, but it creates a better saver. You also are adding to your credit profile. So owning a home also gives you the freedom of not having a landlord, not having somebody tell you what you can and can't do. You can't paint that color, you can't add that function to your home, right? So it also gives you stability, especially if you have children in a school district, but it gives you that ability to plant roots. It also has possible tax advantages. Now, I know not as much now, but, well, presidents change and so do tax laws, so hang in there. And it also gives you the ability to upgrade, to remodel, to add on, to make this home truly your own. So what are the disadvantages? It does cost more upfront. Now, I can talk about 3% down programs and especially VA or USDA, no money down programs and down payment assistance, but you've got closing costs, you've got the down payment, you've got inspection fees. So overall, it might cost you more out of pocket to start with. Also, you have to pay for the maintenance. You don't have a landlord to call anymore. You have to find somebody, schedule it, and pay for it. You also have to apply and approve for a loan. Like, you can't decide to buy one day and then buy the next. It's a process that includes a lot of paperwork and time. Also, you can lose money, and I hate to say this, but things appreciate and then they can depreciate, especially when times happen like 2008. Now, the reality is we don't see that very often, especially not in the Denver market, but it's a possibility, one that you've got to consider. So let's flip over to renting, right? I mean, renting is the epitome of flexibility and freedom. You can move anytime you want. You could drop everything and just go. There's no roots, nothing tying you to that home. That works for some people, and I get that. You also have less upfront costs, although you do have a security deposit and possibly first month's or last month's rent that you've got to consider. You've got no responsibility for maintenance. You can call the landlord. Now, trust me, you're paying for it in that rent. They're baking in all the expenses for the home, but at the time, it doesn't feel like it, and I get that. You also don't have those ancillary fees like property taxes and higher insurance because you own the home. Your renter's insurance is going to be cheaper. So let's talk about the negatives, right? I mean, you're not building that wealth, you're not building that equity, you're not building roots and stability. You also probably will have to move several times, and maybe not when you want, because what happens when that landlord decides to raise the rent or to sell that property out from under you? Because it can happen, it's theirs. That's the benefit of owning, right? You're not building that equity, as I did talk about, and you don't have those long-term tax advantages. So there are definitely pros and cons, and I'll say it again, owning is not for everybody. But if you think it might be for you, or you want to see if it will be for you, well then we need to talk, because I'd love to sit down with you, and I'm not going to pressure you into buying. I'll put my ideas right out in front, but I'll say ultimately it's where you want to go. Well, my name is Nicole Rueth with the Rueth team of Fairway Mortgage, and we would love to go to work for you and build your real estate investment plan. I look forward to talking to you soon.